does happen, but like it's okay. That's
As
why you keep the white
always.
next to the
Hi,
bed.
internet.
Not supposed to push that hard.
Well, as long as there's consent, it's all good, right?
More lube, first of all.
If
Always.
any of you watch Critical Role, there's always this quiet thing of people fucking with the DM when their mics are off 5 seconds before they go live, and there's a bunch of laughter and everyone doesn't know why. That's this, except we skipped the subtle part.
We're just like, oh, were you trying to be serious today, DM? Well, the thing is, last time I had an anal prolapse, Shaman's got his tongue stuck in it.
I love.
Good night, everybody.
No, hold on. We
it.
literally just said he said tongue and butt. I said prolapse. You made a story around it. That's on you. And I love it.
I'm just gonna say it didn't taste. It didn't. There was not good. I needed breath mint.
Strawberry lube. I know. And then you were like, I'm allergic to strawberries.
No, I'm partial. No, I'm partial to cherry. Cherry.
Oh, yeah, but that makes sense.
Welcome, internet, to the most serious Vampire the Masquerade game
wait.
you'll ever see.
Serious. With me wearing my Mando Hawaiian shirt. Yeah.
Is that a Mando Hawaiian shirt?
It is a Mando Hawaiian shirt.
That's fantastic. But hi,
I wore
internet.
this to Bermuda.
I mean, if you're gonna wear anything to Bermuda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh dear. But hi, internet. This is Raetog Chicago by night. I am the aforementioned Raetog, and this is my merry band of miscreants, and we're gonna do some vampire stuff. What?
I thought you were Chicago.
I can be. I don't got the accent. I do Chicago. I only got this much.
I got a serious question.
Mm.
Who would win in a fight, Mike Dicker or God?
That's not even a fair question.
Trick question. Mike Dicker is God. Okay, go Bears.
God doesn't exist, so
That's not real.
Yeah.
They're both imaginary friends. That's it.
Mike Dicker exists, okay?
Oh my God. Ugh.
Pixar didn't happen.
So, did you say my dick or Mike Ditka?
Mike Dicker. Mike Dicker exists.
See, that changes
Jesus
the
fucking
perspective
Christ.
a little bit. Just a little bit.
To be fair, my dick exists too, but
I haven't heard fucking Mike Ditka jokes
heard
since the fucking 6th grade.
I mean, I didn't think we were gonna get into my dick on Twitch, but okay.
My teacher
Mike
was the
Ditka
biggest fucking
is
Chicago
different.
Bears fan.
But that's Chicago. And this is Chicago by night, where all the same sort of thing happens, except there's vampires, too. On that note, when I wanted to start, after our last game, we skipped last week if anybody watching wasn't here, because me and the wife are very sick. But after the last game, I've run a lot of D&D, and I'm used to pre-planning games and stuff like that. I wasn't really sure where the story should go from here, right? I'm not quite sure what steps should be taken next, but
this is where he picks on me.
Thankfully,
right?
one of my players has decided to do that for us. So tonight, we're gonna play a little vampire game that I actually had minimal influence in. You usually can hate the fuck out of me for planning these terrible things that put you and your characters through. But at this point in our story, we have gotten close to the end game. These pieces have been moving behind the scenes a lot. Sometimes you've interacted with them, sometimes you haven't. So at this point, we're just interacting with people.
Fine.
So, yeah, there's a plan tonight.
Maggie's now behind the wheel, and she doesn't know how to drive.
That.
But, no. She knows how to drive. It's just when she used to drive, there were like 2 cars. And so
She
it's
knows
been
how
a
to
while.
drive a
Their
horse-drawn
Maxie was
carriage.
20.
I had a lovely car that was bombed by Nazis. That's not my fault.
Oh, that's a whole different story.
That's canonical.
It is canonical too. So, we're gonna get into this. A little bit.
We should do that.
But first, before we actually do, everybody doing good? It's been an interesting 2 weeks for me. You guys been okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been fun.
Any fantastic,
What happened?
any fantastic things we want to share with the class before we get started?
I'm making this.
That knitting got way further than the last time
Right?
we saw it.
Wow, look. Woo.
I mean, it's definitely further. Like it was like this
It was like a
far.
little this big.
Yeah.
It was like a little ribbon. It's a shirt now, almost. It might actually cover like vast tracts of something.
Vast tracts of land. Quote Monty Python. It's not a modern
to be
RPG.
completely fair,
That's
the reason
big point.
that you got blindsided is because I am your DM for a different game in which we essentially go back and forth on who can be more fun for the other DM, I think, at this
Who could
point.
be a
Oh,
dick
dear.
to the other, or
Yeah.
create more insane situations that we just
It's
want to see
fun.
how they work out.
Yeah, I
It
love
is
it.
fun. So, as y'all probably noticed, Kisoko is not with us tonight. He has also caught the sick. The sick is going around. Everybody out
He's
there.
in the chat.
He's
so
in the chat.
it's
So,
like-
Yeah.
direct all jokes, loving jabs, only loving jabs, in that direction. And also just go harass his Twitch page.
Does it have to be loving?
Yeah, kind
Oh
of.
man, I mean, it could be like.
I mean,
You're,
I
you're
mean, if
kind
I-
of loving. It has like a whole like sea of like directions.
It's a
you can
range
go
of
in.
emotions.
I mean, if I spit on it, does it count?
The fair flu. The Ren fair flu might be the worst because you don't know what
I
area
believe
it came
that's the
from.
plague, isn't it?
Yeah.
You don't know which era it came from. It could have come from any of them. So. You guys ready to do this?
Oh, so ready.
Okay.
No, but
So-
go on.
I've been thinking about it for a week.
I know you have. You son of a bitch. I love it when my players do these things, and no, I actually do because I like it, especially in a vampire game. A lot of other games work for this, but in a vampire game, when the players drive where the story goes instead of like a DM in Dungeons and Dragons, just like here's the adventure, go on it, guys. I like being able to give the players that kind of agency when they have, I want to do this. Let's do this the next game. Ooh. Gives me stuff to work on. So,
Great, awesome.
usually
be
at this
afraid.
point, yeah, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. Usually at this point, I have this whole intro paragraph to read, but I decided to make it a little simpler this time. Bullet points, recaps, because lots of shit has happened, and if y'all weren't around for the last one, a bunch of shit happened. So let's recap where we are. So Maggie's coterie were invited onto a ship, Spirit of Chicago, to meet with the Prince of the Primogen Council, and it didn't go real well. It was attacked by hunters. The boat set alight on fire, and the hunters swarmed the area, trying to catch vampires as they fled, with a couple of smart, sharp eyes, spotting Marcel having just left right in time before the attack started. Alan Sovereign, Seneschal of Chicago, was seen being captured, potentially killed, status unknown. Prince Jackson, although he was given a fighting chance by Roland, was drugged down to the depths by an underwater creature, status unknown. Mercy and Maggie managed to fight off several hunters, but weren't able to chase or figure out how to drive a modern boat.
It's true.
There weren't any pedals. She didn't really get driving, and Maggie is a running joke at this point.
I killed like
A
I don't
running
know, like,
joke? Get it?
five.
Because you can't drive! At your expense forever.
I love it. It's fine. It's perfect.
But definitely killed a bunch of hunters. Everybody else helped.
I got to shoot a grenade.
You did.
That
Captain
needs to be
Success.
mentioned.
Epic.
Guys.
I made a
Special
clip of that.
mention.
I made a
Yeah.
clip of
Yeah.
that.
Difficulty
that
of 10. Yeah, okay.
I'm rolling 8, but it'll be fine.
Right.
Worked. Everybody else managed to help the rest of the Primogen Council escape and get to shore before the actual authorities that the hunters were disguised as showed up.
Some of the Primogen Council weren't even there.
Some of
in the
them
first
weren't
place.
there.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Rude. Annabelle is rude.
Annabelle is just plain rude.
She always has been rude.
So the sun has only risen once since the disastrous events for the Camarilla. And it is in this following evening where Magdalena has hatched a plan. So I'm not even going to spout off of where we're starting. Maggie, where are we starting?
So, okay. It was discussed on the boat, and Maggie would be waiting for this, that Abraham Dusab was supposed to arrive at Nova this night, being the second night, to start warding our warriors.
Yes.
Based on the way that things were left, Maggie would have attempted to reach out to everybody that was there and ensure that they were safe. Some of which, in my coterie, I've reached out to in messages and things of that nature.
If you all are curious, there is a this 2 weeks I should say, was a very lively in-character chat in our Discord going on. There's plans afoot. Things happened. Whether or not they get brought to your attention, that's up to our vampires.
But attempting to just make sure everybody made it safely and ensure that because of the important nature of what Abraham was going to do, making sure specifically, if I could, that he would be fulfilling that oath.
Excuse me. Abraham does wind up early in the evening making an appearance and does kind of set to work.
Maggie will lead him to one of the suites in the new apartment complex so that he is comfortable and well protected. And just say, I aim to get to the bottom of what happened last night, and I hope that it doesn't delay us too much.
We'll do what we can. We'll do what we must.
Your commitment is very admirable and appreciated. And though we haven't worked together much, I hope that changes in the future, Mr. DeSalle.
Well, my clan is usually on the rocks with Camarilla, but we'll see how these nights go.
Well, you're welcome here anytime. Your clan, of course, as well.
How many am I to ward this evening?
Primarily, my coteries will be out. I will put the word out through various means to let anyone. Do you have a limit? Do you have? I don't want to overextend you, and I also, based on the conversations had the night before, it is potential that some of our Anarch counterparts might take me up on the offer, and I wouldn't want you to be offended.
No offense necessary. The number of times I am toward something is relative to how much I have to eat, but I assume there are refreshments.
For you, we will accommodate, yes.
It will take time, but
do you
I
have
recommend jackets or anything that someone would wear over the article of clothing that would cover the most of them that you would want to protect.
Wonderful. In that case, and Maggie will take off her red leather jacket that she's always wearing and present it to him, and then ask, do you, Mr. DeSalle, have any preference to the type of refreshments that you require?
Not important.
Excellent. Then downstairs you will find a couple of bands here that are in a sort of rotating cast for the bar. Please help yourself, of course, discretion, as I know that you will, being Cam. And if there's anything else that my people can do for you, please. I will say there are some off-limits people. You can speak to Will, my head of security, about them. But beyond that, you're free to use my domain as you require.
Excellent. I will just need a single room and a work table, and if you can, a bowl.
The entire apartment here is yours, one of many. If this is not to your liking, I have many in different styles.
This will be fun, as I try to pry open the thing about wards.
Oh yeah, I can help you with that.
Uh-huh, I got the...
I bet you could.
It's actually something I'm very unfamiliar with, being the oldie vampire.
Tremere's shit's pretty cool.
No, it's not.
Well, I have issues with it in previous editions. These days, ain't bad. All right, I got a page number. I can work with that.
Give me page.
275.
Oh, all right.
Fantastic.
Is it? Oh, okay, hold on.
Love having PDFs and bookmarks, baby. So,
Love it.
let's see how this goes.
There's a ton of wards.
Yes, there is.
Damn.
Ward versus Kindred is happening. So, Abraham takes the jacket, lays it out on the table, cuts his finger, puts it in a bowl, starts doing a little bit of, it's not quite like Doctor Strange style, but puts his blood in a bowl, performs a short ritual over it, dips his finger, which has one long nail in it, and spreads the jacket out, and starts drawing a circular symbol on the inside of the jacket, with little sigils and runes and stuff, and then hands it back to you. Take a couple minutes for each thing, but I believe we can do this. So, in effort to speed up time and prep a little bit, is everybody else hanging out around the Nova area? Are they all in for Maggie's thing? Have they been contacted to come? What are y'all doing at this point?
I believe I told everybody to show up. But beyond that, there's only one of you that really knows what's going on, I think.
Ain't wrong.
And she's the youngest among us. That's fine.
Yep.
Interesting.
So what are y'all doing? You there?
I would be around Nova.
Okay.
Yeah, Mercy's working.
Also, Buffy's cat behind Mizui.
Yeah, yes. He's starving. He's never eaten a day in his life, even though he knows that 7 o'clock happened 23 minutes ago, pre-daylight savings. And, yeah, he's dying currently.
I see that.
Skin and bone.
He does look very malnutritioned. You should be ashamed. But,
Cat bonus. If this was a game that had advantage, I would give you cat advantage.
Cat advantage.
Pet advantage.
Cat advantage.
That should be a thing. You should get bonus points for every time animals appear on the stream.
That's gonna be a homebrew rule for my next game, I think.
I like it.
Then I'll leave my door open and let the cats just wander in here.
When everybody arrives, will direct you to where Maggie is at. She will be staying near Abraham to ensure that,
Right. That's actually a very good point. Y'all woke up today. Y'all woke up today. I need each one of you to roll me a rouse check, including 6, who must do that now. Succeeded.
A 6. Twinsies.
I just did.
You did. Everybody's succeeding.
Don't say that. You bitch.
Hey! You're in your own haven.
Well,
It doesn't matter.
I'm in my haven. I'm munching down some
That's
snacks.
fine.
Mercy's gonna have a snack too while we're talking about it.
Also, as a note, just for housekeeping stuff, as I mentioned before, if anyone had superficial willpower damage from the previous night's events, because some of you used that shit because you needed it, remove it.
You remove up to whatever's higher between your composure and your resolve, that many. So
Nobody used that much, I believe.
yeah, I don't think anybody did either, but just as a point.
Yep.
So yeah, that's going down.
So we are at Nova technically. So let's just say we're in the private rooms of Nova. Because you gonna call this meeting to order, or?
Yes. So I will have Will or Mercy actually put a note out to Anita.
Oh.
Send a message on my behalf that should our warriors require warding, we have the Primogen of Clan Tremere at Nova to perform rites as needed. Speak with Will.
Mercy would happily do that.
Thank you, dear. So given this night, and given the previous night, since you're all gathered here, there's come something to my attention recently that we are behind when it comes to the Sabbat. We are always, it seems, at least a step, probably more behind. And the problem with that is that while we are also fighting them, it does appear that we have an internal struggle that we now have to deal with. And now is when I'm going to let you all know my plan. 6.
You want me to use this device?
We'll get to that.
Okay.
First and foremost, I would like to elaborate on what it is exactly that I had that device made for, created for.
Oh, so they asked me to make a device that prevents outside signals from getting in or leaving.
Yes. So, the people that attacked us last night, what I've come to discover is a faction of the Inquisition, not the full breadth of the Inquisition, but a smaller, not necessarily roguish branch, but a much more aggressive and organized sect of them. I'm going to walk into where they are, and I'm going to demand, in my own personal way, that they help us. And they're going to. And, yeah. That's my plan.
That's not even a semblance of a plan. It's more of a soupçon of a plan.
Sounds very actionable to me.
Yeah.
At least she's confident.
More like
Yes.
guidelines, perhaps. I'm confident in a couple of things. One, that I will be able to convince them that the greater threat is the non-masquerade following bloodsuckers, as opposed to us. I'm confident that I will be able to connect with their leader on a personal level, as we knew someone in common. And, well, let's just see where the night goes. Because I'm tired of being on the back burner, and I feel like, as crazy as the Sabbat is, and as likely as it is that they helped tip off this rogue faction to invade that boat, I feel like if we could get them to in any way assist us in eradicating this threat of the Sabbat, we will put them on their toes and could thus give us the upper hand.
If you think they made a deal with the Sabbat, what could we offer to make a sweeter deal?
Peace in their
Well,
city.
there's that. There's peace. I also intend to. Well, the leader of this faction, Six, the man that you have given me his name, a Mr. Bran McCleary.
I've met his father briefly.
Yes, so did I. Many times, in fact. Ironically, I happen to know where his father is right now. And his disappearance was probably quite the shock for the young Bran. And so I could provide him, given he helped us with our little problem, some closure on that fact.
Did you kidnap this man's father?
Magdalena will reach into her coat in an inside pocket and pull out a tiny glass vial with some black goo and set it on the table in front of her.
Oh, yeah. That's
You
how I left
recall
him.
this, Six? Yes.
I do. That's how I left him.
Yes. This is the man's father. He was annoying me, so I asked Tony to provide me a favor. And he did. And young Six here performed it, and now he is but a goo pile. Now, Bran, I don't believe, is aware of this fact. So, when speaking about his father, I can be completely truthful in that I know where he might be, and provide him with his father at the end of this deal, and several things that I'll wordsmith it a bit. I'm decent at talking. I love hearing myself speak, so it should be fun. And I'm just the right amount of crazy to be the one to walk into the Inquisition's office. Because, realistically, the Camarilla, for all of their pomp and circumstance and princes and kingdoms and all of this fun little stuff that they do, they're not always as actionable. Some would say reckless. I say actionable as I am. I feel like it could be crazy not to work. I might end up getting myself killed. Either way, we'll make headway. Right now we're down a prince, we're down a seneschal. We have a member of the council, at least one, that has turned away from us and is siding with our enemy that wishes to just slash and burn the earth behind them. I feel, what do we have to lose?
Just curious. New to this. Is that reversible? This little goop situation?
No, he annoyed me. It's not reversible. I had no
No.
intention of, even if it were, I wouldn't. I would throw it in a fire before I'd reverse it. He was a
Sure.
fucking prick. He was an asshole. He tried to rally an entire group of miscreants against me and kill me. along with your sister, my other daughter, my other coterie members. I don't take kindly to that.
I don't disagree with your methods. I just, curious. We could always make a very fancy drink for Bran.
Are you suggesting he follow his father?
I mean, if he really makes you angry.
There is. I don't say this lightly. Though you are not truly my child, I feel that you have embodied my spirit in such a way this evening that I am proud.
One flaw in that logic, just
Yes,
one.
please. Yes.
I don't think he'd ever accept a drink from any of us.
That's also fair. That's true.
I'm
Now,
just saying, we have a couple of very popular clubs.
we do, and I'm sure they're fully aware of
Religious zealots tend not to frequent clubs.
However, I will say there are also many people I know, a Mr. Tars, for example, who is very sneaky and could perhaps just pour it in his drink when he's not looking, and that could be fun too. Either way,
Then
we're
they will
getting
always be together.
we're getting
Two
off.
balls is
Well,
fine.
for about a day or two, we're getting off topic. The point is, this night is either going to be a very exciting, productive one, or not. And well, I happen to know from memory the location of their little clubhouse, as I've been there many times before. And yes, it should be a good evening. Now, I will say, and this is paramount to tonight's event, I have two requirements. Roland, I do appreciate you making the device, and I would prefer you all to be nearby. But the first requirement that I have is that I will be the only one entering this facility. I will not risk any of you all in any circumstance. This is my stupid, though I would argue probably brilliant, plan. However, it is still a very risky Hail Mary, I believe it's called. Will talks about balls and
Football, yeah.
foots. Oh, that's the word. But I digress. The second um, caveat to this evening is, and this is more for you, Mercy, than the other two, as I have a little more control over you. Should anything happen to me, should I become overwhelmed walking into a den of vipers, I would like you, none of you, to make an attempt to pull me out. Either I get out on my own, or I don't. I won't let anyone else suffer for my mistakes. The club and all of my assets are in you, your sister, and Valerie's name. You can continue along with my businesses in the event of my untimely demise. But I'm fairly confident that it won't come to that.
Of all of the things you could have said just now, I feel that is one of the very few that may have convinced me not to ignore you blatantly and follow you in.
Does that mean you will ignore me? Or not?
I can neither confirm nor deny.
That's what I
That's
expect.
allegation.
Yes, well. Either way.
Assume you're going in there with some kind of protection.
Well, yes, I have had, and you must all go and see Abraham Desab upstairs and get yourself warded, at the very least. But my protections are of my blood. I feel pretty confident in my abilities.
Not what I meant. Let's be frank.
Condoms?
No.
Don't require those.
Yeah, no. No. Um, let's say going out in a blaze of glory.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a plan that you have?
No.
No.
No, I don't intend to go out on blaze of glory.
No, I mean them.
Oh,
Like
them.
taking them all down if they,
Take them with you, as it were.
a
Well,
whole,
I don't I
bomb.
don't intend to go, number one.
Yeah,
But
obviously.
the thing about me and my blood and my young age that I am currently and the abilities that I possess is the more that you try and hurt me, the harder it is to kill me. And I feel pretty confident that I can at least escape. I will most definitely take many of them with me. Um, and that in itself could be a small victory if we have one less front to fight on. If we leave them scrambling, that's, if I can do a significant amount of damage to them, then in that case, that's one less front that we fight. I did murder about 5 or 6 of them the other night, so I'm sure they're not happy. That's just me. I'm sure that there were other casualties on their side that last evening. I believe one of their boats did sink, and one of them was at least on fire. That's possible to do something. So I didn't expect you all to have the utmost confidence in this plan. In fact, I wanted to tell you in person because it was really going to be amusing to see the reactions that you had on your faces. That was really it. I also didn't call Mr. Kessler because, well, I feel like he's a bit of a wild card in this scenario, and I thought I'd rather not this evening.
I don't know that he'd let you go alone.
That's exactly my point. And he's not exactly the talk first and fight later. He's more of the opposite of that. So, nor would he listen to me in any regard if I told him wait outside for me. He would not. He would jump through a window or do something extravagantly annoying to me personally. But
Like, charge up and punch him.
well, that actually worked out quite well for me.
For
But I
you,
mean,
for you, indeed.
for him, not so much. He you know,
I quite recall, yes.
it's good night. Anyway, point is, the other thing, this is a bit, this is hard for me to do because I've never done this before. But Maggie will take her sword from under her jacket. There's a pocket that has been specially sewn in and created for that jacket, that red jacket that she always wears. And she will unhook it and pull the entire sword and scabbard out. It's not a huge katana. It's more like a, what's the middle one? Wakizashi?
Wakizashi.
It's more that.
Nerds.
Fucking nerds.
We're a bunch of weebs. Hey guys. So she will pull that out and she will place it on the table. And she will say, I have not been without her by my side for more than 80 years. But in this night, I feel going in there armed in this way will only weaken my ability to use my silver tongue. So, Mercy, as you are the closest family member that I have, I am entrusting you with her care. For the evening.
I'm honored. I'll take very good care of her. And when you're back, I will pass her right back to you.
Very good. Now, ironically enough, where we're going tonight, I have a house near there.
Ironically, indeed. Happens.
Completely ironic. Oh boy, I still have that. Going back to season 1, man.
Fucking nerds.
Fucking nerds, indeed.
I loved my character from season 1.
She was also scary. I don't
was
know if you know how to make
shadow powers.
not make scary characters.
It's the best part of vampire.
True.
So, are we moving on? Are things happening, or is there more? To go over
I will say that Maggie will continue to remind them that they need to also go and have clothing awarded by Mr. Desab before we leave, and then we will depart.
So, as a note, for all 1, 2, 3, 4 of you, guess who failed his hunger check multiple times? While you were the shaky shakies was the word making thing. So normally these rites only take about 5 minutes each, but each of you pile in, and he has to take a break to eat at one point.
I probably would have brought someone up for him at this point. Make it easier.
Definitely. But each of you have an article of clothing of your choice that has ward versus kindred on it, which means if a kindred touches that article of clothing, they take aggravated damage. Ooh. Big shit. We in the big leagues now.
Yeah.
So
I assume people are putting that on jackets, or...
Yeah, leather coat. So if I take off the article of clothing and say beat a kindred with it...
Doesn't work like that. It is very specifically worded that it doesn't work like that.
Have him ward your sock and fill it with quarters and just whack!
Water sock.
The target must willingly be the actor that touches the warded area for it to function. You can't ward the bottom of a piano and then drop it on somebody or anything like that. Thank you, Looney Tunes.
But these are such fantastic ideas.
I'm reading a lot of Dresden lately, okay?
Literally, I was just gonna tie someone up with the jacket.
Nah, that wouldn't work.
Yeah. Until they try to take it off themselves.
Yeah, and then until they
point there, we're touching it, right?
Yeah, until they tried to take it off themselves.
Yep. Vampires, they don't got a shower. They don't get nothing. They can just live in that jacket forever. And then you lost some clothes. Who really wins? But
yeah, then you have really nice clothing.
He would go through how that specifically works, and I can actually go through exactly how this works so that we are all on the same page. For an item to be warded, blah 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 rolls that you don't care about. Yeah, so it goes with consists of a glyph or a line or keyed script that repel a single type of supernatural, referred to as the trespasser. When touched, something like an electric shock goes through the trespasser's mind and body, imparting both physical burns and a sudden bout of sheer terror. A ward, specifically, does not work on forced contact. Example, a warded sword will not trigger the ward when striking a trespasser, but it would if the trespasser tries to pick the sword up.
Fine.
Did you cover this? Or how long does this last?
Yes.
Is it indefinite?
Until it's removed.
Wards last until the warded object is physically destroyed or broken. The trespasser cannot do this.
Yeah.
My fucking jacket is forever warded?
Unless it's destroyed.
Oh, baby.
So let's say you have an unfortunate sunlight accident and your jacket burns up. That's it.
Okay. Let's fucking go, baby.
Let's go.
The short version of all of this is You owe Abraham Desaad some multiple, not small boons.
I will instruct my coterie to leave before turning to Mr. Desab in his alone in his after having finished. And I will say, Mr. Desab, I know that I stated that I truly appreciate the efforts that you're going through this evening for not just my coterie, but all of Kindred. And I'm sure you're aware, given the circumstances of the prior evening, that we are currently without a prince. Though, it is not my place, as one has not been properly selected. Though it is not my intent currently to fulfill that role, I am only acting as a figurehead to lead us. I can assure you that regardless of how the future nights unfold, I, Magdalena Masters, here, in my present capacity, owe you a great many boon for the services that you will provide this night. Should a title change be in my future, should it be needed, and only then be accepted, I can assure you that my memory, like my pockets, runs deep, and your services would not be ever forgotten.
Why, thank you. I'm vaguely aroused. In all seriousness, this is understood. These are not simple magics, and not often do kindred go to true war with each other. It is an auspicious time, and Clan Tremere has never been well liked in the Camarilla, but we have been accepted because we are useful. Being useful is what we excel at.
Well, should nights progress in a certain type of way, I can assure you that Clan Tremere will get the recognition that it deserves, both for being useful, at which you do most certainly excel at, but also helping in a time of need when many did not, when many shied away from the responsibility, and that deserves more than just a bare acknowledgement.
Well, we shall see how the nights fall.
We shall. Please find yourself in comfort, dine at your leisure, and take in all of the amenities that the... Shit, I forgot the name of my apartments. Hold on. Let me look at my thingy.
You have too many. His memory truly runs deep.
Hey, Maggie's memory.
Note takers.
Keen. She
Note
has
takers.
keen memory.
Mind.
Keen mind. Enjoy all of the amenities here at the Mansiones Domini. In my stead.
I will certainly be grabbing a bite before I leave. I don't know how much longer I will probably spend this evening. These nights are... this is a veritable fortress, and I appreciate the hospitality, but I do prefer the defenses of the Chantry.
It is understood. Should
and
you
there
require...
are many unknown individuals under this roof. I'd be rather surrounded by those I know.
That is perfectly understandable. Should you require any additional assistance, not to disrespect your capabilities in any way, please feel free. I will notify my head of security, and he can put an entire detail on your return, should you request it.
Thank you. Your hospitality is nothing if not eloquent. I appreciate it.
Masters does what one can.
While this conversation is going on, a little more is happening at Nova before things get moving. Nova's kind of been a... let's actually move out of the parlor rooms into the main area. Nova has been a bit of a halfway between a nightclub and a refugee camp for vampires recently. There have been several vampires who have been staying at Nova under basically the guest rooms who have been caught in the fighting with the Sabbat, or just in the general chaos that have ensued from these attacks, whether or not they were directly linked. There's new faces going around. There's definitely several anarchs who are kind of keeping to themselves. There are new faces in all the time, on top of the recently renovated areas, and the club goers as well, which is still a functioning club on top of all of this shit that has been going on. And at some point, oh my gosh, there's a bajillion messages here. Like 18 bajillion.
That's not a number.
That's a lot. Oh, that's something for a different game. That's cool. There is a number of people going in and out for reasons, and amongst the number, while Mercy is up and watching the crowd and not necessarily having stayed behind to deal with Maggie and decide to do the elbow bumping thing, a familiar face walks in, looking around, glancing, and not really seeming too sure of herself. Ava Rhinebeck is present.
That's fine.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's totally fine.
Just walking around in the club. There's a bunch of people, so if you choose to not be a parent, you can choose to not, or you can choose to engage. Player's call.
This is a terrible idea. I hate you.
It's the best. It's the best.
You know what? Fuck it. She's given her a safe place to live. We're about to go make frickin' friends with the Inquisition, right? Mercy's gonna go
right?
sweep her friend up into a hug.
So you're going down and you're going to give your old college buddy a hug?
That's right. That's the plan.
Her eyes light up as she sees you and just hugs you back. And pulls back like, how have you been?
Things have been interesting.
Real quick question.
Yeah.
Before you go up and you're engaging, I'm going to give you this. Do you choose to activate Blush of Life to seem like a real living person, or is it a really cold hug?
It's a really cold
It's winter in Chicago, so you could probably get away with it. It's a really cold hug.
It's a really cold hug. I'm pretty sure we had a funeral for me. Didn't we, Roland, have a funeral for me? That was the thing.
We did. That was the thing we did.
Yeah. So, just
Yeah, that's why I was like,
well,
that's why.
Not dead.
Well, that's why I said that. That's why I was like, this is gonna be a bad idea.
It's a terrible idea. Yeah. Well, okay. So what you guys don't know is that Ava was being tailed by a friend of ours who recently made threats about Maggie's friends and family and their friends and family. And while Mercy Was slightly less concerned about the safety of her mother. Ava was very important, and so she sent her like official letterhead from the Mansiones. And
Domain.
and
Mansion Dominate. It's the Dominate Mansion.
It's not the dominant mansion.
Yeah, it's the dominant mansion in the city. I know. It's fine. And so she sent her like very official letterhead that was like, come try out our new fancy apartments. We want to hear from people and see how we can make them better to accommodate the people. And then Mercy wrote, so like Ava already knew because it was her best friend's handwriting, but she was like, "Hey, Avalanche, things are scary. Life is rough. Stay safe. Come live here." So like she already had this inkling. It was not subtle.
No,
and
definitely not subtle.
No, but she figured, worst case scenario, she's at the mansion, so I can protect her more easily.
So are you in fact going to go down and give the person who you're pretty sure probably thinks that you should be dead a hug?
Yeah, absolutely.
Done. Okay. It's happening.
Yeah.
Done.
Mercy has no sense of the masquerade in this, and how this may be a scary, terrifying thing. Let's be real, she's a new vampire who's talked to no humans she's known. Her friend is safe now. That's the important part.
She like leans back and puts like her hands on your shoulders and like, did you have like that bad of a date? Was that the whole bit? Because if it is, I'll cover for you.
That's a great friend.
Really, I just didn't want Mother to know that she was right about the guy,
Oh, I understand this. Oh, God. Mercy, you're such a fucking disaster.
Listen, we can't all be happy with a baby on the way.
I mean, are you happy?
I am working on it.
That's all I care
about. Don't tell Mom.
I took that as a probably given.
Just clarity. We don't need her hanging out in the club where I work.
This is not bad. This is not bad.
It's fun.
I mean, it looks like it's fun. Is this the one that had the weird, like, crazy, like, New Year's thing?
The grin on Mercy's face in this moment.
You have not changed a bit, you little asshole. A bit.
The thing is...
Quick question. Anybody watching this?
Oh, yeah, Roland is. Roland helped set up a lot of shit for her, and she's like, oh,
if Mercy
she just ruined all of this.
If Mercy was human, there'd be sweat. There'd be sweat. She'd be sneezing because people were talking about her.
Yeah. So yeah, the ground Mercy's face as she's talking about this party is giant, but I guess she's probably also trying to pay attention to like the people around her, her friends. So what does Roland look like when Mercy accidentally makes eye contact?
He just looks at her and goes,
Can I come down before she's done talking?
You have like 2 more sentences and then you're in.
So Mercy will step back from her friend and kind of like take her in and be like, things have been really scary lately. How are you guys holding up?
I mean, the news has got a bunch of like, it's Chicago, right? Like, this stuff happens. Like, it kind of sucks, but it's a huge, like, there's assholes everywhere. I get it. Shit blows up. We're kind of under the radar. Nobody kind of messes in our side of town, there's police cars that come up and down. It's not bad. I mean, I don't feel like we're unsafe any more than we've ever been, honestly. We have a big dog.
You know.
We have a strict no pets policy at home.
Not big enough.
Yeah. That be that as it may. I hope you are considering the apartment.
I'm here to check it out, actually, just to see. I mean, if you think something's going weird or different or not good, I'm willing to listen to a friend. This is the sentence where Maggie appears.
Yes.
If you think that this is strange or different or more dangerous than normal for whatever reason.
Oh, Mercy, dear. Oh, who's your friend?
Maggie, this is
Does
Ava.
one of these.
Ava, this
Pleased
is Maggie.
to meet you, dear.
She shakes the hand. Noticeably pregnant woman.
Yes, my hand probably colder than Mercy's.
Chicago winter.
Oh,
Yes. Cold.
poor circulation. Mercy, dear, I just wanted to, excuse me for one moment, I'm sorry. We will be going soon. I don't want to rush you too much, but time is money, and you know, I love
Sure.
money.
Of course. Do you think I could have perhaps Will show Ava the apartments? Or is there what's his name? The other man you employ who runs those kind of
His name is Stibbins.
He's currently fixing one of the vehicles in the garage at back. No.
Will could send someone.
Will could probably send a person to help check. Or Valerie could as well. Valerie has perfectly good people skills, unlike Stevens. Perfectly fine.
Of course. Ava, Maggie is my employer. She owns the club.
Well, it's very good to meet
Among
you.
other
This is
Inherited
club.
money. My father. Yes.
Well, you've done wonders with it. Takes up the whole block.
I'm pretty good at investing.
It
Legal
does
weed.
sound like it does sound like I am needed, Ava. I'm glad you're here. Valerie's behind the bar. Tell her I sent you, and she can show you around.
Okay, I'll do that. Just take care of yourself, okay? If anything crazy happens, just let me know.
You too, dear. He's going to be a little musician, I'm sure of it.
She holds her stomach and looks kind of proud.
Mercy made straight eye contact with Maggie, and then mimed peeing like in the snow.
Nice.
I'm not exactly sure how one would mime that. And I don't want to know the answer. It's going to be one of those mysteries of the internet.
I kind of.
Yeah, I would.
We have a private Discord. Let's just address it there.
We're doing a break.
Hey,
Mysteries for the rest of the audience. Ava smiles, takes your hand again, and firmly gives you a squeeze, and then heads over off to Valerie where you've directed her. And it's one of those while you guys move in to start talking again, you keep an eye on her, of course, but you see one of those weird when two people are probably going to be friends instantly when you see Valerie and Ava just start talking. They weirdly just kind of click. So they
Valerie's
start talking.
good at that.
She is good at that. But you guys are up in the main area, surrounded by mortals, and able to do whatever you want.
Old friend of yours, dear?
Yes. From the early day.
Ah.
I told Will I'd key on the door for him if we needed to mark territory.
Oh, right. No, I don't. Though, based on the smell, it is likely that there is some musical talent there. I promise. I swear to you, off my menu.
I wasn't aware that there was
Did
such
she
an
play an
aroma.
instrument in school or anything? I just curious. Might have been her.
I'm kind of shocked that Maggie didn't try and poach on 6.
When she had the chance.
Yeah.
Maggie knew very much so, but
That's a respect thing.
You were
Yeah.
Tony's protege, so to speak. It was very clear that there was no dining there.
Fair.
So, since Mizui had to scoot off at this point, I believe it would probably be proper. It also is pretty close to our normal time of taking the break. And then, after that, we can see if we can move on and...
Let's go to an Inquisition hideout.
Maybe. You good to... You want to come back, Mizui, or we were considering going to break?
Could we go on a break, please?
We can go to break.
Sorry.
We're going to break!
We're doing it later!
We're doing it live. We're going to break. So we'll be back 5-10 minutes, guys. We'll be back soon.
Yep.
Yep.
Peace.
Peace. Audio.
We're back.
We're back.
We are in fact back.
Hello.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Crisis averted. All things are good.
I'm
Happy
going to
day.
talk to the Inquisition.
Yeah.
Inquisition.
Nobody expects.
Oh,
Nobody
no.
expects Maggie to walk into the Inquisition. I think that's true.
I feel like it's just required to make Monty Python jokes and RPGs in general, and we've
think
already
so.
between me and Kisogo, we've already hit our cap.
Oh, no, there's always
Well,
more.
I
There's always
started
more.
the pre-game vast tracts of land, and then
Yeah, we did start the pregame with vast tracts of land. That's right.
All right,
Tracts
and
of land.
and now for something completely different.
Now for something completely different.
Completely different.
I can do that.
Always.
This
I have
is.
power.
It probably will end with us all being arrested and taken away.
This is the end of. This is the end.
That's how it's all gonna go.
Holy Grail. The cops just show up and everyone gets
Yeah.
arrested.
Yeah.
And then I just
That's
stare
it.
sadly at the camera and the credits roll past my face.
Yeah.
And that's it. Oh.
I mean, we could do the Life of Brian end where we're all nailed to the cross.
I mean,
Always.
Hey,
look
we
up
are fucking with the
bright
Inquisition.
side
That's
of
positive.
life.
Inquisition, and that wouldn't be a most unheard of thing to leave out for the sun. But yeah, so that's fun. With that bright note in mind, so Ava's squared away at Nova safely.
Maybe.
And
Deliciously. I'm sorry.
oh, I forgot to show you guys how to pee, how to mime peeing. If you never mind jerking
Oh,
off,
no.
like...
Yeah, now
No.
you get to do it now on stream.
no.
Okay, all right. So what you do
No.
is you gotta pull.
I love this game so much. I love all of you people so much.
It's fun.
Goodness. All right. So
So fun.
you head out.
Uh-huh.
Preparation for heading out, taking a car, you all going together, Maggie just going by herself. What's the deal?
One second
No.
first. 1 second first before that happens.
Mm-hmm.
Roland looks at Mercy and goes, and why?
Remember how I said that car that I was able to track down?
Yeah.
Yeah, the one that Maggie's very old.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Well, she's moving in now to the apartments.
Of course. Yeah, I got that. Why did you have to, miraculously rise from the grave that we worked really hard to put you in
Oh,
to do this?
see, the thing is, when I saw her in Nova, you know how I had talked about all the things that I could do in case I ever saw none of the gone.
Yeah.
Gone.
No.
You know what I saw was my very, very pregnant friend who I really needed to move into those apartments.
Yeah, no, 100%. She didn't have to know you were still alive.
She wasn't gonna.
You don't know that. There are ways. You've been around Maggie long enough to know that there are ways.
I could have bought her
remember when I
house
said
and evicted her from it.
Gone. Bed empty. Friend danger.
Yeah, no,
I also ran up to a werewolf to drag James away from it. I don't know what part of that person you thought could avoid her best friend in a bar.
two separate things. I'm just.
No, not separate things. Life in danger, I fix. Life in danger, baby in danger, I fix.
No. Again, this is not about her moving her safely. I get that. None of this was about her moving her safely. I get that you wanted to do that. It was.
I'm not saying I was making good choices. I'm saying.
All right, as long as you're aware that was not a great choice.
I was wearing my coat though, so at least
Hey, we put
if
you
she
in
was
the
like,
grave.
"Wow, you're so cold," She assumed it was about a boy.
Uh-huh. I know. What? She knows you're alive. That
She
poses a
knows I appear
problem.
to be alive indeed, yes. That's true.
She knows you're alive, and that poses a problem for you. In the grand scheme of us.
Yeah,
Normally,
after.
Roland, I would agree with you. We all spent considerable effort, resources, money to ensure that Mercy could be well forgotten. But in this instance, I'm going to have to say one problem at a time.
Was not intending to make her a problem so much as make her aware of that problem.
The instant that I wrapped my very cold body around hers, I recognized that was a mistake. However, no thought, only safe friend.
As long as you're aware. That's just wanted to bring it to your attention.
Oh,
That could be a problem
yes.
later.
Yes. Yeah.
How do we know we can trust your friend to keep her mouth shut?
You guys have no reason to take my word for it. However,
We also don't know if anyone else has gotten their hands on her first and then sent her here.
all I can offer you is my word that unless she's dead, she's as much a threat there as she is here.
Did she touch your coat? Because we can ensure that she's not kindred.
There was,
Yes,
in fact, a hug that occurred.
But
She could be a
Just for
ghoul.
clarity.
It's unlikely.
The surveillance I've had on her since my untimely unlife would indicate that nothing.
Sorry to cut you.
I'm willing to overlook the issue for now. I don't. The problem, Mercy, is going to be that she's going to get shown an apartment, but she didn't look like she had any bags with her, so she's going to head home. Are you sure that she is safe until the point at which she moves in? Do I need to have... Would you like to let Will know before we leave? To send a couple of men to tail her, to follow her to...
There are a couple of men already following her. There's also already surveillance on her house. But if it would make everybody more comfortable, he should absolutely let Will know and add to the...
less concerned about us, per se, but you are... Well, you're supposed to be dead. So...
Yes, I apologize. It was not a good idea.
Is she married?
No.
So her family is you.
Not exactly.
Who does she live with? Anybody is the question.
She does. Who will be moving with her in the apartment.
I'm sorry.
You said that
No. Of course. And I stand by what I said. However, one follow-up to that is this person that lives with her. What do you know about them? Have you been also surveilling them?
As much as her, yes. They are, for all intents and purposes, to be married. The climate of Chicago notwithstanding. Ava is working her way to the white picket fence. She's got her baby on the way. She has her lifelong partner. And I do not get my happy ending the way I expected it. It is my only hope to let her have this. And I am doing everything in my limited power to make sure that would happen.
Well, I fully intend to assist you, Mercy, and I'll even pay for their wedding. Right now, though, if you say that it's not a problem, then I believe you.
I have nothing to tell me that it is a current thing. Once they move in, I cannot imagine them to be any more of an issue there than what I was already taking care of with them in their home.
To be fair as well, is it my problem from many, many years ago that has become your problem with her?
It was the instigating factor in my concern that her home was no longer safe.
Okay. Well, now that does put a timetable on this, because I fully intend to remove that factor from things, and once I do, then hell, I'll even buy her that white picket fence and a little house away from wherever she would like to be, and we can go from there. I don't... Not that she's not welcome to stay, though I don't know that the apartments would be the best place to raise a human child. But
you know, back when we used to have vocal classes together, we always talked about a nice little home in the town. I imagine that given her choices, that would still be her goal.
Well, mysterious benefactor I am. Now, in that case, actually, one moment on that. Okay, I can dial this phone number. Maggie pulls out her phone, her Nokia brick that's secured.
Mm-hmm.
She types in,
She gonna be one of those old people that just has voice to talk on and just stands there and screams at their phone?
No.
Oh my god, no, the phone
No.
just talks back to her. She hits 5 and
No.
it's like, 5! 1!
What the fuck is her name? I employ too many people to remember these things.
You do.
Hold on, one moment. I need to look up a name. I'm calling Miss Fairfield, real quick.
Miss Fairfield. She answers the phone on the second ring.
Hello, dear. Sorry to reach out at this, well, early for me hour, but I'm sorry to reach out unexpectedly. There's a bit of an acquisition that I'd like to purchase in the future. Just a small... You said Potomac, correct?
Potomac. In the tropics, Bahamas, perhaps. There's actually an island off of...
I'm buying a whole island?
No!
You hear Miss Fairfield giggle a little bit on the other end.
Sorry, one moment. It's a gift. I'm trying to... Hold on, one moment. Sorry.
I
Miss
love
Fairfield.
a challenge. Go ahead.
Sorry, Lindsay. Give me specifics. What are we looking for?
We are looking for a house in a sunny tropical climate. That's it.
Lindsay, if you could begin work on property acquisition for a house in a sunny tropical location. If there's a small island for sale, I suppose that's fine as well. Just whatever you can find. If you could provide me with a list of 5, 6 properties for a future date. No time soon.
Sunny doesn't really strike me as your style, man.
Again, a gift, not for me.
Well, no problem, and I suppose I'm on the clock. And she hangs up.
Yes. Very expensive wager.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You asked her for a very expensive thing.
No, I was not
mean,
asking.
To be fair,
No. Maggie asked her for a very expensive thing.
Yeah.
that
By
price,
consequence, you asked Maggie.
that price right there, that's
Yeah.
fucking peanuts to Maggie. But what costs more is the person I just called's time. That's gonna be more than half of the cost. That's my attorney. That's my personal private attorney.
We'll work on that
Anyway.
project after hours.
Oh, lovely. I love spending my money on other people.
The disgust with which you said "Sunny" is beautiful.
Well, as it turns out, death is a very interesting topic.
Oh no. See, he's caressing the skull.
It's made of ghosts too. See,
Poor Yoris.
I know. I knew him, Horatio.
But it's a very interesting thing, dancing between life and death in this way. This is the core of the entire principle behind running this game. It is very, very much all about how we bridge the gap between death and life. And, well, sometimes shit gets messy. So we'll see how that goes.
Clack.
But is this conversation happening in Nova? Or are we moving?
On the way out.
On the way.
I would
On the
imagine,
way
yeah, it was them.
out.
Oh,
Okay.
on the way out. I figured it was a car conversation.
It could be a car conversation. That more private. That's fine with me.
I feel like that's where Seamus, Roland would have chosen to chew mercy.
That's fair. I like that.
Wait till we get in the car and she
he
can't run away.
He tries to be discreet.
So, before leaving, Will is on the case to show her around and see what needs be done. There's a little text that comes in that says something about she just wants to look around at the place. I'll keep an eye on her while she's here. And then if she leaves, I'll set a security detail.
Someone should tell Will that the homeless man in the purple flannel is not to be worried about, and neither is the motorcyclist with the big beard and the black and red bandana.
Who the fuck are we talking about now?
The people I have watching her.
Yeah.
He's not really homeless, if it makes you feel better. But I just didn't want, there to be a problem between two security teams. They're just a little subtle. Don't worry about it. It's Chicago. And homeless people blend in.
Oh, yes, they do, unfortunately. You're texting Will.
Yeah, I wouldn't know.
He responds with, "Oh, huh, okay," and that's it, and just like a little thumbs up emoji.
Listen, okay, it's not like I got any ideas from James or anything, but I just want to say that sometimes people who look a certain way can get around in certain places without much notice.
There isn't a response. He's apparently off doing the work. So
Will knows what's up.
How is this being dealt with, I should say?
Well,
Are we wearing our coats in the car? Because aren't we technically at risk of touching each other and then hurting each other? So, are they in the trunk until we get there, or...?
I'm wearing mine.
I'm wearing mine.
You're driving. You can get away with it.
Yeah, I know.
hug me.
Well, there's not 5 of us in this car.
Okay, there's only 4 of us, so it's fine. All right.
Get away with it.
They're not Kisogos. I just want to say that these people have nothing to do with Kisogo.
That you
He's
know.
really self-important to think so.
That
It's
you
just
know.
that I know of. Indeed. I'm just saying the ego to assume. Such a
There's a lot of shit going on in Vampire Chicago. Just saying. Which is awesome. So, in car, any more to discuss?
No, I think it's time.
Think it's time? Well, so, so it's gonna be change some stuff real fast. So, Nova Club is roughly in the area of this. A nice little venture simulator. Long, long ago, in the time referred to now as Season 1 of this shitty game of mine,
Lies.
the old coterie had a domain in a little area near a park. And around about this area, Elmwood Park. And in that area, there is a church that truly exists in Chicago, by the way. That is the meeting point for this whole thing. That is called St. Celestine's Church. Does that move this a little center more?
what a killer photo.
That is a real church in real Chicago.
Well, obviously, because we're happening in Chicago. So.
There are more things than just the bean to check out, although the bean is pretty cool. As I'm gonna get rid of this damn generic city ambience and go back to our music. So you pull up in, let's get this straight. Y'all in one SUV? One of your armored sedan or Suburbans or whatever they are?
Yep. Suburban.
Well, what is it? Well, we've never
It is-
specified.
It is
Some British make?
Yes. No. Mercedes.
The Mercedes. Oh.
It's Mercedes.
Ha 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 ha.
You know, I hear they have really roomy trunks.
I've used them before.
Children, all of them. Excuse me. So you pull up outside this church that is vaguely shaped like a fortress. It's definitely after hours. The this chat too. This chat too.
You're supposed to keep it together. The whole
No.
thing about the chat
Together?
is that, you know, like, we
Whatever.
don't laugh. Chat.
Whatever.
You know? You
Together.
have to be innocent.
Wait, innocent?
I can't do. That's a prerequisite to running
Did
a
you not?
vampire
Did you
game.
not see
Is
me
to throw
deadpan
that.
the Kisogo dick joke? I deadpanned that. Innocent.
You are all in
Just
a Mercedes with a
Go
really
away.
big trunk.
There's some
In-
junk in there?
Maybe. Outside of St. Celestine's Chapel. A very old point of contention in this city.
60. I would recommend not.
I'm not parking close to the
Yes.
church.
Wonderful. I'm not going to get out near it either. I'm sure they have surveillance on every available street corner that they can get their hands on.
Yeah.
Roland, how large is the device that you prepared?
You can go up to 50 feet.
But
How big is
how
it?
large?
Oh,
Could it fit
here.
in my pocket?
Yeah.
How does
Yeah.
it work?
Oh, do you want me to turn it on before you go?
How long does it last?
Longer than Roland's.
Man, I just can't go on.
No. Well,
That's aggravated damage right there.
Roland's got stamina. Roland doesn't need to breathe.
Hey, Ron, what did we do?
How long, DM? How long?
I mean,
At least 2 hits.
a jammer doesn't like only last so long. That's just not how things technologically
Yeah,
work.
how can I, with a power source that I can put in it, how long?
A battery? I mean, we're talking like easily the whole rest of the night, at least with a battery. Jamming isn't necessarily a problem of the jammer running out. The problem is the people who, if they discover they're being jammed, if they can defeat it or switch to a different channel or something like that.
There you go.
Okay.
It can last, it's just...
What
does
does it
it's a
look
little
like?
bigger than cell phone size.
Yeah.
Okay.
Modern
Would it
size.
fit in my...
Smaller than Maggie.
No,
cell
it could
phone,
fit
but,
it could fit into the pocket of your jacket.
Okay. Then I will put it there. Go ahead and activate it. I will put it in my pocket.
So
Okay.
you're activating it immediately before coming in?
So
Yes.
you don't want us... I was going to suggest we try to listen in, but you don't want anybody listening in.
Oh. Well, see, the concern that I have is there are likely, though the Inquisition has paid me little mind, I'm not necessarily on their top tier most wanted list. However, this particular faction likely is a little more aware of who I am because of the previous leader. And so my concern was that I walk in, they immediately call for backup and reinforcements if they have more within, not within the building. That creates more of a problem for me to get out the way I came. How do I activate it?
Well, it's easy. You just flip this switch here.
Okay. All right. Yes, you feel free to listen in.
I mean, we don't have to. I'm just...
No. I'll activate it at a time that I feel is appropriate.
What are your expectations of us being here? Are we just your getaway drivers?
Well, your getaway drivers. In the event that, things don't go the correct way, I would, well, 6 is a really good shot.
That she is.
And, well, Roland, I imagine that they have some sort of computer system within that you may be able to access at some point.
Right.
Fair point. Well,
If they have remote access to the cameras outside, in theory, I should be able to back hook on that and find their, at least their
you're
system.
speaking in a language I don't understand, nor
I mean,
ever will.
Fair.
I
If
know
they
it's
have a signal
Camry.
coming out of the church, I may be able to find where that signal originates from.
Whatever you say. you're here to just see where this night goes. Essentially, you're bearing witness to what could potentially be the last night of Magdalena Master. I hope not. I don't intend for it to be. But I want you all to know what you're up against. Very quick on that gif there, Roland.
I might have known that phrase was coming.
Is remarkably fast with that one.
Yeah, here you go, your finger.
I do.
I would say that my goal is I will dismantle if things go wrong, I will dismantle as many as I can on the inside. Should some flee into the evening, 6, I assume that you had put your rifle in the SUV before we got in.
Yes, ma'am.
And thus do as much damage as you possibly can. From a safe distance. Again, I don't want anyone getting hurt on my behalf.
These are all
GM,
Mm-hmm.
storyteller.
Mm-hmm.
I assume 6 has given her pretty much like a decent outline of the inside of the St. Celestine's.
6 doesn't know what is in there.
Okay.
That is,
Okay.
you know where this
Okay.
location. The
Okay.
two divisions do not talk very often.
Would
Almost like they're keeping secrets from each other.
I will say, would
Fair
6
enough.
happen to know the estimated size of this division by any chance? Fuck. Okay. All right. This is fun. My heart's not beating fast. Yours is.
your heart beats.
No, this guy's does. Hers does not.
I am going to see if I can locate if there's any extraneous signals coming out of there.
That's fair. Let me see some stuff real fast here. Make sure
Yeah.
the settings are correct. Yep, that's it. So that's going to be, if you're going to play around with that, are you waiting for Maggie to leave? Are you doing it before she leaves? Are you
I'm doing it
as
before.
she
I'm doing it
leaves?
now. Doing it now.
Doing it now. We're going to do a technology and intelligence roll. And what technology are you using to do it, more
My
importantly?
laptop.
There's the signal scanner.
Yep.
Okay, let's see what we get. If you have a specialty, add 1 die. Three successes. It's a vampire game. Leave me alone.
You can also, if you want it higher, you can also re-roll with the willpower. Three non-blood dice.
if you want to.
Just saying.
This is just to see if there's a signal.
So
Getting into it, it might require willpower.
That's fair.
what you're playing with at this point is there's definitely a security system. There's definitely security cameras. You can see that physically from probably wherever 6 parked, which I assume is like a couple blocks down.
Mm-hmm.
But you can see there are cameras on the outside.
Right.
The stuff that you pick up with 3 successes isn't a whole lot. There's power grid, for sure. You don't pick up any like radio chatter or anything like that. And trying to pick up any kind of cell phone signals in the middle of Chicago, even though it's the middle of the night, is insane. That's everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So, you at least know sturdy walls, security cameras, and nothing really else. No radios.
Right, so I'm going to keep monitoring on that, and then I'm going to try and crack into their system. So that's going to take some time, and I got nothing but time where I'm sitting. So.
That's true. So at intervals, I'll basically make you make that exact same roll you just did again to see how we progress as it goes. gonna call it an extended test.
Okay.
So
Maggie's hopping out.
Maggie's hopping out.
I'm gonna do 3 things. I'm gonna activate 3 disciplines in rapid succession. Here we go.
If they require rouse checks,
They do. All 3 of them do. So
do the rouse checks and tell me what
1,
you are doing. Oof.
2.
Oof.
Okay, well that's better than nothing.
All right.
Uh,
Pricey.
And tell me what you have activated.
I have activated toughness, defy bane, and prowess from pain. I'm going in fully loaded here, baby.
Fully loaded baby, but unarmed.
Roland, dear,
Yes.
would you like another favor? I'm a little hungry. And you're going to be sitting in the car, so just wondering if you wouldn't mind. Bit of a nip.
Fine.
Your call.
Fine.
Are you sure?
Yes.
I wouldn't want to invade your personal space.
Fine.
Shut up.
So what?
Yeah,
Describe to
can't-
me exactly what is
I just
happening.
pull up the sleeve so you don't have to touch.
Much appreciated, dear.
Are you feeding from Roland? Okay.
I'm going to feed from Roland.
First off, a couple of things occur. You bite into a fellow kindred. You haven't had cause to do that very often.
Not since the last time she did it to me.
But it's much more potent than normal human vitae. It's stronger. It's the stuff of life. And a little thing in your head, the beast something, perhaps, reminds you that back in London, back in the time of Mithras,
Oh shit. That's
You
never
could-
good.
one would devour another frequently to gain
You-
power.
I knew you were gonna tempt me with some fucking diablerie at some point in this game.
I mean, more for the audience too. This little thing in the back of your head reminds you that if you keep drinking, and you keep drinking before when it's all gone, it isn't just the blood that brings you down to hunger zero. Killing with humans is the only way to bring you down to hunger zero. If it's with a kindred, and they run out of blood and you keep drinking, the soul goes next. And you have a very strong possibility, if that kindred is of stronger blood or equal, of growing in power. Now, with that thought that just comes into your brain as unbidden from your beast, tell me, how many hunger are you removing from your track by doing this?
Just one. Just the one.
Okay. Feeding from kindred changes things a little bit. So, Maggie, remove 1 hunger because you're drinking that much. Roland, increase your hunger by 1.
I did.
Okay. It's a experience, but you come out of it. And you're still whole.
Well, as per usual, Roland, your blood is decadent with just hints of
Fine
things
notes of...
that there's electricity in it, almost like your music table that you use. It's tantalizing upon the lips in a way that it's so sweet. However,
Well, I'm glad you appreciate it.
and as per usual, I will provide you with a major boon. Should you require anything, please let me know.
And also, I will say, you feel particularly fond towards Roland.
I don't. I'm unbonded.
Don't. That's right. You
I don't do this lightly.
You don't.
I've planned for this.
That's
My plan was always to be eating vampires, baby. That's how I roll. Okay, so I've got those 3 disciplines active. I'm walking up to the door.
You walk up the St. Celestine Chapel.
I fucking hate this place.
Oh, buddy. You know how, Matt, in your other game, you're like, I've been playing this for years.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm aware.
Mm-hmm. Well, in that case, let's do this right.
I'm actually like really tense. like real life me is tense.
Good. You walk up to the doors of St. Celestine Church. They're ornate. Saints carved across it and everything. Basically all the old stories
Gaudy trash, yes.
of like things that might keep an evil creature from crossing onto holy ground. Cross your mind here. Inside, I mean, it's still a pretty nice space. That was, for player disclosure, this is the best and darkest picture I could find of the interior of this legitimately beautiful real-life church. These people that are seated in the front row in this picture are not there for our scene. It is empty, save for one person standing back far at the pulpit.
Maggie will go, and she will sit in the 3rd pew on the right. And just look at the individual standing off to the side.
The individual is...
Hands back on the back of the pew, very relaxed.
So to be clear, Maggie is man-spreading, kind of?
Yes. I'm mag-spreading.
Full blown. The person behind the pulpit is not dressed in a priest's vestment. If anything, they're dressed in the color of red. You see a lot of similar features to a man you once knew, may or may not have participated in the demise thereof. Strong.
Can I make out these facial features, and would I be able to discern that this is in fact a person that I'm wanting to talk to?
You can. You see a man in red coat, tall collar, that is priest-like. There are symbols of a holy office upon them, but their color scheme seems to have gone to a red and a white. Shoulder length, blondish hair, clean-cut face, strong jaw-looking guy. And you see, for the first time, the son of somebody that you may or may not have had murdered.
Wonderful.
Now, we did start this game with a lot of Helsing jokes.
I figured it was gonna be fucking the priest. I really did.
Mm-hmm.
You filthy Protestant bastards.
God.
Yeah. Anyway, having not looked away from this individual up at the pulpit, Magdalena will, as there is no one else around, she will lean back a little bit further in the pew, stretching out maybe slightly more, and say, Mr. McCleary. Just the person that I wanted to meet.
I feel like we're not doing this, but this should be like right when we cut the credits. That should be where it is. We're not doing that. But that's it feels like a good bit. To be clear, I have at least another hour. Is everybody good with that?
Oh yes.
Okay, as long as everyone's good. It was just it's hard when people like throw you a straight line like that. They don't get it every day. The guy, I want to say he looks about 30-ish. He seems to be going over some papers there. And kind of gets them all together, taps them, very nice and neat. Glances up. Oh, Miss Masters. You finally showed up.
Well, I got your calling card the other evening and wanted to come and talk terms with you, should we say.
Talking terms. You know, he kind of like leans a little like lazily on the pulpit. This isn't actually the first time that my kind and yours have had such discussions. And perhaps it might be time for another.
I'm glad you're amenable to it.
Well, there's been a lot of damage in our city, and my crusades are not... I believe there's always room to be and behave like civilized folk. So I'll make you a deal.
Yeah.
If you promise to behave yourself, I believe, what's them words? Elysium, those rules. No funny business, no violence, and none of your strange powers. And then I won't have to use any of mine. And we can get to talking.
Well, Mr. McCleary, I do believe that you are well versed. I love a man that I don't have to catch up. I agree to your terms of a temporary Elysium for our conversation. And I will refrain from using any of my mind-altering abilities to sway you to my side.
I appreciate it, although, between you and me, I think you'd have a hard time.
Well, your father was quite hard to sway.
At this point, Roland. First off, what are you trying to do? And at what point are you trying to, like, what information are you trying to get by getting in the system?
Basically, I'm just trying to get into their system first before I'm attempting to get into their system before I look for anything. But I am trying to scan to make sure that there's no radio chatter or anything coming out.
So you're looking to get into a digital system, right? Give me your role. Same thing as before. Yep. Technology and intelligence. As this is going on, McCleary says, well, in that case, I believe we should probably have this conversation in a place of honor. Proper place to have a conversation. In a place that won't be stumbled upon by any average good folks who we don't want involved in our conversations. And he'll the pulpit has like a raised dais that he was reading his stuff on, and it's got a bunch of carvings on it. And you see him reach a finger across and like pull a part of a carving that was a hidden switch. And you hear the sound of stone opening up. So we have 5 successes. And 2 hunky dice. So, Roland, you're going to have to get... there's a good number of successes, so you are doing what you need to do. But you're going to have to get inventive with this. Because what you're finding on basically your little RF scanner here, there's not a whole lot of systems to get into.
Okay.
You don't get communication systems, as opposed to, like, you can find a few, like, RFIDs, as in, like, cell phones of people around. Yeah. But there doesn't seem to be anything but, like, a really lame, like, office computer in one room of the church that they probably just use for records and stuff. And that, getting into that is child's play, and you just can, like, move around with it. And in the space of this conversation, you basically have determined that this is like an old person's computer that they occasionally use Excel spreadsheets on for, like, planning
Maggie?
Actual church.
like planning, like,
that's far
food
too
drives.
advanced for Maggie.
Actual church stuff. Yeah, that's
Specifically food drives is what you're saying.
Oh.
It's that time of year.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's a lot like that.
That's fantastic.
You know what? That's worth it. That's worth it
Yeah.
for the internet. The internet gets it. That's good.
But there's got to be more systems that I'm just not finding.
So you have a couple of possibilities with this, because 5 is not a bad roll. Excuse me. It's either that or this really is old school.
They couldn't be like Maggie, could they?
So you've gotten to that point.
I say that out loud in the car.
Are the other 2 in the car doing anything with this? Because this is a good time to, like, flashback.
What are you finding?
There's literally nothing in the technology-wise, except for a computer that they legitimately do church business out of. So literally, what I'm seeing is that there is no... Their level of technology is similar to what Maggie's used to. So if they have any, surveillance, so to speak, it might be just eyes.
Do you think they're doing something with their lights?
No, just literally eyes.
Just literally eyes.
People watching.
I will say that because my phone is secured, Roland would probably have been the one who I went to have it secured, because he would have been around when that happened.
And you would
have access
absolutely
to
have
that.
access to Maggie's phone. Are you doing anything with that? Are you trying to listen in on conversations and stuff?
Her conversations?
Yeah.
No,
You're gonna tap.
not at
Why are
the
you gonna
moment.
tap her phone?
No.
He said you're welcome to listen.
I only say because 5 successes would allow you to do that. Choice is yours. But you've rolled high enough to do such things.
Maggie told
He
you to
said
do
you
it.
could listen.
Yeah.
All right, told
Then
you to
yes.
do it. Okay.
Yeah.
So at that point, you've heard this conversation. up
And
until
I
then.
will actually put
Is
it
it
on.
Is it speaker?
I'll pump it. Yeah, I'll put it through the laptop so
All
that
right.
everybody can hear it.
So, there's no video feed because it's tucked away in Maggie's pocket, but you're getting the podcast version
But I will also
on YouTube
activate.
tomorrow, kids.
I will also activate heightened senses to see if I can see anything outside in the way of people.
Okay, that's fair. Heightened senses does not require a rouse check, and your senses do heighten. It's pretty late at night. You're always up pretty late at night, but it's Chicago traffic and foot traffic when it's cold. So there are people, They are not interested in anything except getting where they need to go right now as far as foot traffic goes.
Yeah.
As far as stuff in the building, you don't see dick. There might just be...
Well, that wouldn't be very holy.
Don't tell Sam Smith. Oh.
I'm okay with this. There might just be the two upstairs, which begin to move downstairs. If you follow him.
As you're willing to acknowledge the Elysium, and you most likely know the caveats that come with it, and that being that the onus of protection is on the host, will follow you to a more secluded area as per your request to show good faith.
As I minimize my clear here. Once in a while we get drifters in looking for a warm place, and we have soup kitchens in the morning. I don't think it'd be right to put that on them. This way. And you do see him from behind the pulpit. Does pull up what looks like an old Crusader-style broadsword with a strap and everything. He doesn't unsheath it; it's still sheathed. He kind of like throws it over his shoulder like it's a guitar case, and heads down.
I'll follow. At let's say 5 feet or so back.
Fair. Going down, this is a pretty situation. There is a significant working of stone under the stone church. And you're going down easily like 2 stories in rock and stuff. As you go down, he mentions that this church has been around for generations at this point, and we've always had a presence here, protecting the city and protecting his people. And at that point, as they go down, Roland, your feed is starting to get staticky, kind of like how cell phones will like stop like getting connection and function when you go to like an elevator or something like that, which closed off. The stone is
the concrete. Yeah, I got it.
This, however, is worse because it's not concrete. This is actual stone.
Yeah.
Old school indeed. You do notice that it's not gone, but it's staticky, which means the door that they went through is not shut. You haven't lost
just going
signal.
Down.
You haven't lost signal.
So can I track her with the GPS signal?
I mean, a GPS signal will tell you that she's right where she is.
Okay.
Which looks like, if you're looking at a map, she's inside the church.
Yeah.
GPS signal doesn't do much for elevation.
I'm just making sure.
But yes, you do have a lock on.
Okay.
A lock on her phone. It's like the little thing from Aliens. Boop, boop. As the descending goes, he doesn't actually like turn around or like he has his back to you pretty consistently, as like fairly sure that you're not going to just off him.
Yeah. Maggie's good for her word until you piss her off.
At the bottom of the stair, there is another door. Hard oak wood. Opens it up, both hands, to a what looks like a underground chapel of sorts.
In Maggie's head, she's thinking about how ridiculous these people are, and she's the vampire. But Maggie also just very pointedly is not saying, she's listening to him talk, she's following behind, she's not saying anything yet at all.
In the stronghold, as it were, there are other people, other humans. There's a couple of there's notably actually, let me crack this back open so we can see him a little bit. There are a few other of the hunters that you've seen before, numbering about 3 or 4 of them, and not in they do seem to be armed, not pointing weapons at you or anything, but they are armed with a couple crossbows. They're like across the lap. They're very prepared, but not aggressive. The one thing that you do see that could be construed as aggressive, and once again, not necessarily pointing any weapons towards you, an old friend of Six's who you had an encounter with the other night involving a grenade launcher. Full tack gear. Like the cape and the Crusader vibe and everything.
Pretentious bastard.
Adorable cosplay. It's fun.
Everybody kind of sits up at attention when McCleary walks in, as if a military officer had just walked in the room. The heavily armed, helmeted man stands at attention as well, and McCleary walks up around that little table, that dais there, pulls out a nice old-style wooden chair that would be about the similar in make from London. Your London. Nice stuff here. And pulls another one on the other side and actually holds the chair out for you, trying to be gentlemanly.
True gentleman, thank you very much. I will take the chair that is presented.
Okay. He walks around the other side of the table, unslings the sword and kind of like leans it against the table so it's like in hand, but not threatening. Everything seems to be giving off the vibe of they're ready for violence, but not trying to incite violence. Because, vampires move real fast.
Can. I can jump now. That's fun.
Uh-huh. And McCleary sees himself on the other side, and he kind of puts a elbow on this ancient fucking table that looks like it might have served saints. All right, so what are we talking about here?
Well, Mr. McCleary, first and foremost, let me properly introduce myself, as I am Magdalena Masters, which I'm sure you are fully aware. And I've come here tonight into your sanctum to propose an alliance. And with that, Maggie will smile and show a small amount of fang.
There's, from one of the back pews where the other just regular hunters are sitting, there's a cough, but otherwise it's really silent for a few seconds. We're talking about an alliance. I assume that would mean when two opposing parties make an alliance, there's usually a common enemy involved.
Requited is always, dear.
Are you all having problems with the lycanthropes?
Oh, no. Not particularly. We seem to be beating them back quite well. Though, it is nice to know that you're aware of them. Have you been doing your part to aid in the defense of Chicago on their behalf as well?
He pauses for a second, glances back to Taggart. And you can't see the guy's face, but just something in the way the guy stands strikes you as smug. McCleary, however, doesn't seem to have any of that going on. He seems to be like playing the whole stone cold serious card. Goes, we've been doing our part.
Well, that is wonderful to hear. I will have to send you a gift basket for our thanks, as we all do share them as a common enemy. But no, they are not the ones I'm here to speak of. But first, would you do me the honor of... May I ask you a question?
I know this game, but I figured I'd be playing it with the Fae before you. But why not? Ask away, and then I'll ask one of you.
The other night, your team, specifically that one over there, they attacked a vessel out in Lake Michigan, one that I happened to be on, as I'm sure that you've been briefed and you are aware.
His face doesn't give away anything as you do that. It's just stone.
The question that follows is, was that of your own volition, or did you happen to come across some information that would have led you to perform that specific raid, that specific night?
So my enemy comes into my house and asks me for my sources. Is that it?
No, I just asked if you had a source that provided it for you. I don't need to know your sources.
It was very fortuitous that there was a number of blank bodies in one place at one time, especially ones up in their higher organizations.
You find it strange that you were given this information so fortuitously?
Oh, not particularly. From what I understand, vampires are a lot that are very keen on betrayal and gripping for power when they can.
That we can be. I don't deny. You see, though, and this might be important to you, you may already know, I'm sure you do, as a matter of fact. You're very knowledgeable on everything that I'm sure we're going to discuss this evening. But,
We'll see.
The other types of vampires, as you put it, the ones that would have given you that information, how much do you know about them?
It's about the same as I know about the lot of you. We don't really keep very detailed records on your factions and affiliations, except if one of you have presented yourselves in a way that bears dealing with.
Understandable. Commendable, as a matter of fact. I understand that. must say, though, that perhaps a bit of, and no offense to you, education could be useful for us both.
Is that so? Well, if you have something to say, you might as well be out with it, so we can determine whether or not this meeting was worth our time or not.
Very well. You understand that many of us, my kind, live in the shadows, perpetuating a somewhat disguise upon the world, masking our existence, and living, for the most part, unless, you know, outright pulled from the shadows, living a secluded and secretive way. We don't like to be known. We like to live in a relative symbiosis with you all. Yes, we can understand this.
For the sake of argument, let's just say that symbiosis is what we'll call it.
I'm sure you'd say parasitic. Nevertheless, very, very seldom do vampires of my ilk kill those that we must feed upon based on the curse given to us. However, there are groups of us that do not hold such regard for secrecy, do not hold such regard for those that they are required to prey upon, and they are known as the Sabbat.
Hmm.
Does the name ring any bells?
Not particularly, besides its obviously pagan roots.
Yes, well, they take many things from the old days. But the thing that I think that you'll most be interested in is those groups, known as the Sabbat, they only, and I do mean singularly, believe that you are not food, you are more than, you are far less than food. And if they had their way, and if they were not constantly held at bay by my ilk and myself, their goal would be to outpace the rate at which you would be able to murder them, and slash and burn this world until they were all that remained. They, my odd bedfellow, are in fact the reason that I'm here.
So what you're telling me is there's civilized leeches and then there's barbaric ones.
Yes. That's essentially what I'm conveying, yes.
And you're suggesting some kind of pact together? We help you get rid of your problem and then we get what exactly?
I'm not necessarily proposing that you do anything. If anything, I'm proposing a non-aggression pact between these civilized leeches and yourselves. I would very much love for you to do what it is you all love to do to them. However, I did not come here with the highest of hopes, so I have mitigated my expectations. However, if you'd like to discuss working more together, or more aligned at least, I'm definitely open to hearing it. And I'm sure that there is something that we civilized leeches could offer in return that would make it worth your while.
There's another low, like, from Taggart behind, but McCleary doesn't even turn to regard. First things first. That's a big speech you made there. So we're gonna turn it into rolls. That's either gonna be. Let's see how we're gonna do this. It's either going to be, depending on what method you want to do this. You're either going to roll charisma and persuasion, or, well, it's going to be persuasion either way, but it's either going to be charisma or manipulation, depending on.
I'm being completely honest, so I would
it's
argue
charisma,
that charisma
and persuasion.
Would be.
And at this point, Roland, give me another roll, just because it's about time for that.
You did not specify difficulty, so I'm picking one.
One. We'll see how it goes. That is 5. Okay.
The fact that your hands are large enough that you can rattle dice in them regularly.
I have big hands. So, Roland got 5 as well. Cool. No crits, 5 successes. No messies. Nah, we're good. Okay. Man, messy criticals are bad when you're using technology. Like when the beast comes out when you're using technology, you just fucking hit the keys too hard and break shit. It's very hard to handle. I don't know how else to deal with it. So, a couple of things are happening at once with these 2 rolls. To start with, McCleary kind of thinks about it for a few seconds. And then he doesn't really stand. He kind of like does that half stand thing where he puts his hands on the little thing in front of him. Kind of leans on it, looking down. And goes, "This is very, very out of sorts for me. Normally, I absolutely wouldn't give one of your kind the time of night for anything. But I've got to say, the way you've done business in this town intrigues me a little bit. And I must say, I'm at least a little bit..." And he freezes in place like that. Very quickly, Maggie notices that everybody in the space, the ones sitting on the pulpit, the ones, and Taggart behind, stands a little bit stiffer, and everything holds very, very quiet for a second. On Roland's end of things, the static increases significantly at this point. Right when that noise happened. Lots of static. Normally, this kind of thing would require some kind of perception test for Maggie, but I'm not even going to ask you to do it because this is just going to unveil itself the way it is. From probably... I'm just going to do this to make room because that'll make life easier. Minimize.
This is bad.
Minimize.
That's what this is.
Yeah.
From one of the back corners, kind of like where the edges of the chandelier light touches, black starts to come out a little bit. And out of it walks a figure.
Motherfucker!
Suit. White hair. The whole blood around the eyes is evident. Far too long of fingernails to fit in with a typical, like, Camarilla setting. And he walks right out like he had been there the whole time. And just kind of peers around the heavily armed hunter, who doesn't move or seem to notice him. And then walks around in front of, and then stands next to the table. Of all places that you could have turned up, this is the last that I would have expected.
Well, you know what they say about me. I'm nothing if unpredictable.
You're not wrong. You've been a fly in this ointment for a while now.
Well, I can't seem to stop circling the shit, apparently. That's why you're here.
Well, I'm here for an entirely different set of reasons. I would prefer it if you would be so kind as to relieve yourself of any weapons, any friends, any surprises, and then come see an old associate of mine that very much misses you.
That is a tantalizing offer.
And the shadows kind of grow out along the floor from him. The room seems to darken a little bit. It's very odd. The human hunters in the area are almost like mannequins at this point. If you pay attention to McCleary, you actually see like a bit of water running from one eye that can't blink. It's like locked.
You know, I had truly hoped.
Question: do we know?
Can we hear this yet?
The static is very loud. So what I'm going to have you guys do...
I don't know.
That's going to definitely be wits and awareness tests, and you're going to need better than 5 to make this out through the static, because it's very difficult to understand. You can hear it just fine, but Maggie's cell phone is like CB radio bad.
Alright, so
Awareness and wits.
How close is McCleary's sword?
Oh, it's within an arm's reach. It's like 2 inches from him, and he can't move. 4.
Nope.
3 and 4. And 1.
What does constitute a messy critical or a...
So a messy critical is when you get... a critical in this game is when you roll 2 10s, which is the little fang things.
Right.
Becomes a messy critical when one of those are your blood die. So the hungrier you are and the more blood die you have, the more likely it is that something bad will happen when you succeed or fail.
Sure.
Roll 20 kind of goofs it up.
Yeah.
Your offer is enticing, Mr.
His smile gets just bigger. And when he smiles, like usually, like you've seen a bunch of vampire fangs in your time. Like it's not even a thing that gets you anymore. When this thing smiles, like some of the other Sabbat that you've seen, they're not like nice, neat little fangs. It's a whole mouth of more than one row of shark teeth, all jagged.
No introduction.
Consider your next words very carefully.
The hunters here, I assume you have some control over them. You're dampening their ability to move, yes?
Oh no, not just. They move where I want them to. My kin have had so much time to be in the church. We have our fingers everywhere. The only reason they knew about your little boat party and knew where to move was because, well, your old friend has a vested interest in getting your attention, and it just so happens I had the pieces on the chessboard.
Well, I should have come to you then. That's exactly the information that I wanted to know. And I grab the sword and I make an attempt to cut his head off.
Okay, so there's a lot of stuff going on with that.
Damn it, Maggie.
So a couple of things are going to happen. First off, just for that, there's several things are going to happen at once. We're basically going to resolve this part in a couple of dice rolls, and we're going to see what happens. So you are grabbing a sword, attempting to draw and swing. Do you have any disciplines that you would like to have you do it? I don't remember if Maggie has any celerity or not.
I don't have any celerity, no.
Okay. Well, in that case, we're going to... don't want to do that on that one. We're going to do this way. I'm just going to have you do your usual sword attack, so melee, and I assume strength. And I am going to have this creature do something to counter. So that's going to be 2. Doesn't get hungry this time. Okay. So that's going to be a dice pool of...
I don't like this.
It's not good.
There's peaceful knitting, and then there's frantic knitting. And
frantic knitting is happening.
The latter.
Frantic knitting is happening. So that's going to be plus...
Fuck up my tension.
Okay. And I will let you roll first so we see what happens.
Okay.
And make sure I set my dice thing. It's Friday kind of empty, that's right. Oh, bestial stuff. That's not even... It's messy critical, whatever. Nah, it's not neither of those. It just means that you had a 10 and a 1 on your thing. I assume you want to try and burn some willpower? Let's see what happens.
We'll see.
The difficulty is now going to be 3, because that's what you rolled, just to make it easy. Okay. So.
I'll burn a willpower to roll 2 of those.
Burn a willpower, alright. And then, in that case, he will also do the same thing.
God damn it.
So,
He's got
where's
so
the
many
where's
extra
the reroll thing?
There isn't. You just have to roll it yourself and call it a
up there.
reroll.
And 3.
Okay, so that's one more.
One additional. And you can roll up to 3 that aren't blood. And he's at... Okay, so he does have the ability to roll 3. Up to 3. So we will try. What is this? Name of the roll. Dice to roll 3. Difficulty needs 1.
We tied, so of course he did.
Oh, shit.
Motherfucker.
That's okay.
So how
It's
this
okay,
goes?
everybody. Calm down.
Here's
I like Maggie.
here's how this
Maggie.
night is going to end, and we are going to pick up next time with the ending dialogue here, because it's like 10 till. This is our hour. Here's how this happens. So, Maggie grabs this Crusader sword, draws it, and swings. She's practiced. She knows swordplay, knows how to do it. The La Sombra's arms of Ahriman come up. The tentacles from the shadow come up and slash and try to basically grab at Maggie. A couple of things happens. One, it does set off the ward, so he is damaged. He takes an aggravated point of damage, which I'm going to put down right now. On the other hand, Maggie, how does this work? Is grabbed by several of these pieces of shadow, not just on the jacket, but where they hit. So how many you had how many successes here?
I had 4 total.
4 total.
And he had 7 total.
7. So it's would normally be 3 superficial damage coming to you, but because he's using another power, this is 3 aggravated damage. And one of your legs, you can feel strength leaving it as it starts to wither a little bit. At the same time, upstairs, in the car, Mercy's, Six's, and Roland's phones all go off at the same time. Text messages. You crack them open. It's Will. It just says, "Red alert. We're under attack. Red alert." And that's why we're gonna end the game.
So I got 3 aggravated damage.
Correct. So how this functions.
Okay. Then here's what I'm gonna do.
Okay. If you have an immediate response for this, we can do that. Before we're done.
I'm going to ignore those 3 aggravated damage completely.
Cool.
Cool.
Because of Defy Bane.
Defy Bane does what exactly? Give me the bit.
Defy Bane description. All vampires with this power exhibit an innate ability to ignore damage that would otherwise inconvenience and even disable other of their kind, while this power alone gives no protection against Banes and other aggravated damage. Subtract the fortitude of the defender from all
Incoming damage.
Fuck. Oh no, hold on. I was reading the wrong thing.
This is all good. See how it works.
Okay, sorry. That was toughness. That was the Defy Bane. The user can convert a number of aggravated damage equal to their fortitude rating to superficial damage when sustained.
Okay.
So I'm turning the 3 aggravated into 3 superficial.
Okay.
Which then is reduced by 5. It's down to 1. Essentially, I take 1 superficial damage.
With a notable exception, because of this, how this power works.
Okay.
Specifically, the Touch of Oblivion would do that aggravated damage. The additional effect, I believe, would not be resisted. One of Maggie's legs, where it struck, is considered crippled, as life is pulled from it.
we could play this game too, because Prowess from Pain lets me ignore anything that would cause a penalty to my movement or
And
damage.
that's exactly it. So here's here's what this is doing, which is fucking awesome. We have this is done to Maggie. It happened to Maggie. She's just Maggie, and right now she's going to ignore it. Because she can just push fucking through it because of fortitude. Get your fortitude, kids. It's the best power in the game. Fortitude's the best.
And how?
And how. And with that, yeah, so, we're gonna have a real interesting game next time.
As a note, also, because of that, I also get a little bit stronger.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, you get stronger when you get the shit beat out of you.
Yeah, hurt me, baby.
Next time, we are definitely going to pick up immediately where we left off here. No downtime, no nothing. Right there. You still get your XP? But, woo! What a game, guys!
So, there was a thing that we talked about doing. I'm assuming not at the end of this game because of how this went. Probably next game, maybe, perhaps.
Yeah. Or maybe it could be. Maybe it could be. We'll see.
Will knows things.
That's
okay.
True. Maybe it could be. So hey, how's everybody doing?
Why do we have to end?
Because it's time.
I mean, I have 3 more hours than me. It's only 9 o'clock. I'm just saying.
I gotta pull up the security feed.
That's gonna be a whole thing.
Yeah.
So, most important question: everybody have fun, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Tense, but well, here we are. Well, I'm glad you guys had fun.
I'm gonna torture you in my game.
I mean, that's what DMs do. You come up with backstories and give things so that, things can happen, and your character, or your players are invested in their characters and their lives and shit. If I play a game and I'm not getting my character tormented, at least a little bit, I'm not real happy. Matt does that shit to me, and I asked for it years ago.
Yeah.
Years ago, I set up my backstory for his game, and it's just coming up now. And it's ripping my heart out of my chest, because he's good.
Yeah, man.
We're not really going tit for tat here, because, like I said, this shit, that's been in there since season 1. He's had time to play.
Sure.
Been a bit.
Sure.
Yeah, things are different than Jack remembers. It's gonna not go, I don't think, the way he wants it to. We're gonna try.
Yeah. That's gonna be a whole fucking thing.
Okay.
So many people are so quiet, though. I'm sorry. I don't want to be mean to you, but it's my job to be mean to you.
It's beautiful and lovely.
Okay.
No,
I'm sorry.
I am very fulfilled right now. My only problem is I have to wait yet one more week. Because the fun part about Maggie is the more beat up she gets, the stronger she gets. And I get to do more crazy stuff like, hurl cars like the Hulk. The problem, though, is that I also don't get hurt easy. So it takes a while. It's a slow burn.
And also, you have this habit of talking your way through things, which prevent
I
your
try.
powers from working.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay.
Man, I almost made friends.
Almost. Maybe you did. Maybe it'll stick. Maybe you won't. We'll see.
Okay, you don't have to tell Maggie, but do they know? Are they perceiving this? Are they just puppets, but they can perceive? Is that how this is going?
Well, that's it for tonight, everybody.
Fuck you.